and welcome to Nintendo at Gamescom. What a fantastic view that is. Coming to you from Cologne, Germany. And with that, hello and welcome to the Nintendo RedCube. As always, we are joined by some fantastic guests. It's Andre. He's the senior producer of FIFA 19 on Nintendo Switch. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for the invite. It's my pleasure. Every year.
Yeah, right? Second year in a row. And it's, of course, Chris from Nintendo of Europe.
Hello.
Hey, Chris. Are you guys excited about what's coming now?
Playing a game of football?
Yes.
I'm always excited.
Perfect.
And the new season just started.
Right, we have to talk about it. So maybe let's just start with the basics. So what are the key facts that players should know about FIFA 19 that they didn't know so far?
For sure. So there's, I was just talking to Chris earlier, there's a lot going into the game this year. I start by naming Champions League, which is returning to FIFA after a decade.
Yes.
And it's been the most asked about feature that we've been hearing from players. And it's not coming to the game just in a standalone tournament form, but it's actually integrated across all the various modes in the game. So you'll see Champions League, Europa League, and the Super Cup being featured in career mode. You'll be able to play a Champions League final within the new Kickoff. You'll be able to enjoy Champions League content released throughout the year in Ultimate Team, and also the standalone tournament with its own full authentic structure and teams. So definitely that's one of the biggest things this year, but plenty more.
Let's talk about UEFA Champions League. You have to.
Of course. Do you want to actually get into a match?
Yeah, why not? Let's get into it, and then we continue talking about it.
Yeah, so one thing that I like about being able to just play a quick game in the Champions League is that it makes you feel like there's always something at stake.
Yeah, it is, for sure. So pick your team.
Okay. I will be Paris.
Ooh. Advance. Yeah, so this is an entirely new mode, which basically is the actual authentic Champions League experience. We've even introduced a new commentary team that is specific to Champions League. Derek Ray and Lee Dixon. You see here already the anthem and the intro for the Champions League, and it's such a glorious. I don't want it to sound as too big of a word, but it makes us so proud, proud that we've been able to actually introduce it in the game. Yeah. Because the emotion that Champions League offers to players is second to none. Because when you watch a Champions League game, the stakes are super high, the feeling is different, everybody puts on their best game, and that's what we try to do in FIFA 19 as well. So this is your first group match after you selected Paris Saint-Germain. Go select play match.
All right.
And I'll just try and not concede as many goals.
Oh, we all know the legendary status of Limerick FC.
So how was the score last year? I can't remember exactly.
Well, we still have a score to settle. That's all like that.
So right from the get-go, you'll notice a few things, especially in visuals. And Chris was just mentioning before the show. We've introduced the concept of pitch degradation in the game. So as you play the game and as you tackle, as different types of steps are taken on the pitch actually degrades. And that, although talking about it seems like a really minor thing, when you actually play the game, it adds so much depth to and authenticity to how visuals look. Yeah.
Well, one thing that I find amazing about it is that you really genuinely see a visual difference between the first half and the second half.
Yeah.
So it means that you feel like in the second half, oh wow, a lot has happened already.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So all these intro sequences have been built from scratch for Champions League, and you will also see the Champions League, hear the Champions League anthem play. The teams taking photos at the start of the match. It's as I said before, it's meant to actually get you into that atmosphere, immerse you in that experience.
Shall we get into the action?
Please. All of the broadcast package is also introduced, so you will see all the authentic Champions League team presentations, score overlays,
all of the sponsors.
All of the sponsors too.
For the people wondering why we are laughing.
I know exactly what you're referring to.
But it adds to the realism.
Yes, it's the authentic competition.
Oh, it's still early season. Paris Saint-Germain is still sort of getting to know.
Warming up. So I need to mention that Chris didn't have a chance to play this build specifically. So this has been tuned specifically for me.
So you would say it's a fair match?
Yes. You were sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I was going to say that one thing that I think has happened a bit under the hood is that the striking has been changed quite a bit, right?
Yes, so the striking system has been entirely overhauled. What we wanted to achieve by doing that was to give players more options in front of goal and more control, more precision in front of goal. So deeping shots, driven shots, chip shots, finesse shots, all have been entirely rehauled. And I don't know if you noticed them already, but you have, it's more in line with how you would expect a shot to play out, and you have more control over its curve, over the angle, and it's much more rewarding when you actually manage to land a really good shot.
Well, what I like about it is that on the one hand, it's still sort of the normal shooting works still the same way. Oh, this is offside. But the new shooting works in a way that you can add like the risk system.
Oh, you're talking about timed shots. Yes. So there's a new mechanic we introduced. You're right. If you double tap, if you double tap the shoot button, you're able to. If you time it right, you're able to increase your chances of actually that shot having a lot more power and a lot more precision. Now, it's an optional mechanic that, to your point, it's a high risk, high reward one, because if you don't time it right, then chances are a lot higher than the shot will go wide or it will be a poor shot.
Yeah.
But once you master that and you choose the right moment when to use it, it can definitely give you the edge over your opponent, for sure. But everything I said earlier about the shooting system applies to all of the different types of shots, not just timed finishing.
Yeah.
So Chris, what's going on? It's 20 minutes already.
Yeah,
that's not what I expected from PC.
I was actually going to use this as a bridge to something that I've noticed while playing FIFA 19 compared to FIFA 18 on Nintendo Switch, is that a lot of animations have been added, and the game really plays a lot more fluid, especially because there are so many defensive animations that have been added that you hardly make any tackles. And you can see that Andre is actually very good at stopping me in my tracks and making sure that my passes don't come through.
Oh!
That's very generous.
So close.
Yeah, so the other thing besides animation that we did specific in gameplay is that we changed a lot of the AI system to actually make it feel more human. Because right now, when you're going to play match after match, each match will feel different because the AI will try to mimic the real-life tactics of the team you're playing against.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So say you're playing against Manchester City, for example, you will immediately be high-pressured, exactly what Guardiola likes to do. If you play against Barcelona, for example, you will see them playing their tiki-taka style, moving the ball in short passes, trying to create more space in front of goal for them. So this is something we call team personality, but there's also a brother to it, or a sister, called player personality. Oh! Mbappe!
Sorry, I did make use of this moment. Please continue about the player personality.
Yeah, so there's also a concept of player personality that we introduced in the game this year, where individual players will have individual playing styles that cater to how they behave in real life on the pitch. So, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo likes to go out wide, get the ball, and then cut inside.
Yeah.
You will see him do that in the game. Messi likes to come a bit deeper, get the ball to his feet, dribble, make a play, do a skill move. So the AI did not do skill moves until this year at all. And all those things contribute to the game feeling totally different versus last year.
So I guess you had a whole team analyzing every single player and how he likes to do things?
Yeah, we actually have a big team here in Cologne, data collection and licensing, that are basically working with a lot of people around the world to analyze players and teams and everything that's going on, and they basically prepare a whole bunch of things for us to be able to use.
Fantastic.
And they're great.
Yeah.
But it also must have been very challenging for you to put all of these features in the Switch version, because there's so many additions that you feel that make the game feel much more fluid.
Yes, it's been now. After the first year, it's been good that the team actually had a chance to get more familiarized with the hardware, with how they can optimize even more, what they can do to cater to its strengths, and we had that advantage on our side as well, because this is the second year after all, and they did a great job. I'm here just representing them, but they take all the credit, because the game looks stunning, plays beautiful, and has a lot more depth than last year.
So what is the feature that you've added that you're most proud of that you achieved?
My own personal favorite, the new Kickoff, for sure.
Yeah.
So we're just announcing it at Gamescom this year, and we're letting everyone enjoy it. It's basically an entire overhaul of Kickoff, which was just a one-off match for the most part, that people would kind of get used to the game and play with friends. But the main challenge with it was that it was never persistent. You didn't get any sense of progression or real accomplishment. And say we were playing for a number of years, and you always told me that, hey, I'm better than you in FIFA, and I always said the opposite. I'm better than you in FIFA. Now that's not going to be just hearsay, because the game will actually track your progress and your matchup always.
Yeah. And so it's something I am really excited about, because when I was a kid, I don't remember which footy it was, but there was one where I played it with a friend, and we played it for more than 200 games, and it really kept the score, and it kept the goal difference, and it was...
Yeah, I think it was launch mode or something similar, but yeah, that's the intent, to create more, to create progression, give people a sense of accomplishment, and to also be able to customize and diversify their own experience in the game, because we're also introducing the concept of house rules. Kickoff.
Do you want to have a look?
Sure. I'll forfeit this match, so that doesn't count.
I will accept that.
So yeah, we can go in Kickoff, and here basically this is where you select your profiles and go to select name basically.
Yeah.
Enter a new name, and this is how you create a local profile that you can then use to identify yourself at all times, and everything is stored on this profile basically. Ready? Okay. Oh, actually, let's go back.
Okay.
And let me show the house rules as well. So by pressing the right stick, you go into house rules, and there's a bunch of things here. I was saying earlier that Champions League is integrated as well, and if someone, for example, wants to just play a Champions League final with a friend, he can just go in here and activate Champions League.
Nice.
He plays a one-off final together with his friends. But there's also much more to it, because, for example, you can play home and away, you can play best of 3, you can play best of 5, and the game tracks that and determines the winner at the end. Not only that, but you can also mix and match different rules together. So
yeah, this is actually something that's only possible on the Nintendo Switch version, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So King of the Hill, and this is classic and pretty self-explanatory, but the winner gets to keep his team, while the loser has to change his team. So if you combine King of the Hill with best of 5, it means that every time the loser will have to change his team, which adds a little bit of strategic depth to it. Random teams is one of my personal favorites because it gives you a subset of teams to choose from. But what's interesting about it is that, say, for example, you get Chelsea in your first subset, and I get Real Madrid in my first subset, and I choose Real Madrid. You're going to think twice, because you're not happy with Chelsea against Real Madrid, but you're going to think twice about randomizing, because you might get even worse teams in your next pool. And you might, I'm going to stick with Chelsea for this one.
Right.
So really quite an engaging mode that we hope people will enjoy and be able to always come back to, and just change the way they.
I'm pretty sure they will.
It really feels like the Kickoff creates a lot of new friend dynamics.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, you can now also play online with your friends.
Yes.
So
we're introducing online friendlies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Friend dynamic.
Friend dynamic.
Enemies.
And there's also something that people have always been vocal about.
Yeah.
No rules. So basically there is nothing. No falls, no offsides, no bookings, nothing.
To FIFA 99.
You can play for free. And the other one that is a favorite amongst players is survival, where every time you score, a random player from your team gets kicked off.
It's my favorite one.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
This is such a great idea.
Yeah.
Like this is endless replayability.
Exactly.
So have you talked to your fans about that and like heard what they think about it? Like I guess they are super psyched.
Yeah, they are super psyched, because now there's basically a new mode in the game that they can come back to and enjoy with their friends in various ways. Yeah. So all of these different combinations, obviously there's a finite number of them, but it allows you to enjoy the game for a longer period of time and not get bored.
Okay. Did you want to go into it?
Sure.
Okay, all right, let's do it, because I have one really important question later on. But
all right. So you see now that King of the Hill is active, Best of 5 is active, and Survival is active.
So whoever scores the goal is happy and not happy at the same time.
Exactly.
All right.
Are you going to go with PSG again?
I can do that. I guess this is sort of a self-imposed King of the Hill.
I'll go with Juventus.
Nice.
There he is.
Sounds like a reasonable setup. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that must have been interesting that Ronaldo decided to change teams.
It was, believe me, it was very interesting. But we always, I mean, in FIFA, anything like that can happen. So we always have a plan B in case it does. There's also something that I didn't mention about the new Kickoff. You see here, welcome to the new Kickoff. That's where once we get a chance to actually play and build a rivalry together, this is where certain key messages will appear. And if we go in leaderboards, for example, you will see a host of different stats being tracked between each other. And you can actually track this against any of your opponents. So you can see who has the better possession, who takes more shots on goal.
So basically, it's the place where you find who owns the bragging rights.
Exactly. Exactly.
This is also a bit more of a proper stadium here.
Yeah, for sure. And one other thing we did this year, in the spirit of authenticity as well, I don't know if you noticed last year that if you were playing a game in the Premier League or the Bundesliga or La Liga, they were mostly looking and feeling the same.
Yeah.
Right now, we've introduced 100% authentic official broadcast packages for each of those leagues.
Oh,
so exactly as you see on TV, the EPL, the La Liga and the Bundesliga will show in the game, and that makes such a big difference.
I can imagine.
We can, after this match, we can also look at those as well.
Right, good luck.
There's a roar outside.
Yeah, they're all cheering for you.
No, I don't.
Big FIFA 19 fans.
Ref.
Oh, nothing.
Are you sure you didn't put the ref off? Oh no!
Oh. Kidia.
So now I'm going to get a player kicked off.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play in 10.
Is it a random player?
Yes.
So
Okay.
It
where
is a
can you
random
see who
player.
it was?
Yes. Let's see.
So
it's Matuidi is off. You can see that sign there, which is different than a player getting red carded. You can't. You can change. You can swap that position, but you can't actually swap the player in or out.
I love that.
And now he's going to have a lot more space.
Yeah, you can already see it. That's in the. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, come on!
It's outside the box.
I talked with the referee before the game. And you mentioned it earlier, and and I didn't get a chance to say anything about it. But one of the most requested, feature from the fans and players last year was the ability to play with friends online.
Yeah.
And we added that ability this year through online friendlies. So over a 5-match season, your history is being recorded there as well. You can play with friends, with any of your friends online. You create a game, an invite gets sent, your friend accepts the invite, and he can join your session.
Great.
And you can do that not only in FIFA, but also in Ultimate Team.
We have to talk about that.
Of course.
We really do. Because that's what I wanted to ask you when I said I have an important question. So let's talk about FIFA Ultimate Team,
Absolutely.
the most popular game mode, if I might say so.
Yeah.
What can players expect?
Yeah, so there has been quite a bit of work done in Ultimate Team as well. So Champions League is the biggest thing there as well, because it's been deeply integrated in the mode, and they will see Champions League content appear throughout the year, which I hope they will be enjoying. The other thing that I just mentioned is the ability to finally play with friends, with your FAT club.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely great, because a lot of players are spending a lot of time building their teams up, and then they can't actually brag to their friends and win against them. So now they can do that as well. And last but certainly not least, I mentioned before that we added authentic broadcast packages for La Liga, EPL and Bundesliga. We didn't forget about Ultimate Team at all, and we changed the broadcast package there as well to make it more modern, feel like 2018. So you will see that in there as well.
Sounds really good.
I think this.
Oh no no no!
It's always such a close match between you.
I think
Really?
that we both are quite focused on sort of defending and obstructing the other
Yeah.
opponent.
But I always love when like Andre is talking about new stuff coming to FIFA 19 and he's really relaxed until like this very last moment when you're on news.
But this is also how it goes when you play it in your living room. I mean, you're just talking with each other, and then there's this sort of gentleman's rule that you stop talking as soon as you are close to the box.
Yes.
Oh, that was a mistake.
What I also like about the survival mode is like, how many times did someone tell me something like, I would even win against you with like 5 players.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
show it to me.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. Now they have no chance escaping that.
So Chris, it's on you to get one of your players out now.
Oh.
Yeah, this is interesting that I actually want one of my players to be sent off.
Right?
He's making a play.
Good try.
Yeah. But it's interesting, you can already see that the pitch is starting to see some wear and tear.
For sure. And there's also been, except apart from the pitch, there's been a lot of work done on visuals overall. So lightning and shadows, more precisely, have seen a lot of work just to make them more dynamic, more deeper in a way, and give players a sense of realism, of added realism in the game. We're also adding quite a bit of La Liga content into the game, a lot of stadiums. And for those stadiums, actually, we used a very different technique, and you will see that they have a lot more Meunier.
One time I didn't look
they
at
have
the
a lot more details in their architecture and how they are being portrayed in the game. Now let's see which player got sent off from your.
Oh, Rabiot.
Oh, that's good, Rabiot. I have more room now.
Exactly. Oh, you can see it immediately.
Oh.
I just want to wait it out. So I feel like we have talked about so much already, but like, is there anything else which we haven't talked about yet? Because there are so many changes. I can't believe it, honestly.
There are, yes. I think we covered quite a bit. I do hope, as I was saying, my personal favorite is the new Kickoff.
Yeah.
And I do hope. I do hope players will enjoy it and start playing around with it, and they'll probably discover even new ways and even more engaging ways to play than we ever thought. Oh my God!
Pretty
Marco
good.
Verratti.
Well, I guess someone is going off again.
Let's see who it is. No, I'm pretty sure they will. Like,
well, what is really nice is that what you can really see is the game is more fluid.
Yeah.
There's so many visual changes as well as gameplay changes, and there are many more ways to play with your friends, both offline and online.
Yeah.
And I think that makes me at least look really forward to FIFA 19.
yeah.
Let's see who
will send off.
Oh, that's even better.
Okay. you have a minute.
No, sorry. Even better. Silva.
Yeah, and like you said before, Chris, there are obviously, of course, big changes, but also all these small details, all this love that you put into the game and try to make it even better than it was in FIFA 18. I think it will definitely pay off and people will love it.
We do hope so, because teams both in Bucharest and Vancouver have put in a lot of effort to do this, and especially coming off World Cup as well, because we added World Cup just a couple of months ago to 18, and we've seen a lot more players come into the game. We do hope that all those players get to enjoy 19 as well.
Yeah. Are you also talking to like celebrities in case of like hearing what they have to say about the game and if they have some kind of game changes they would like?
We always get input from everyone equally.
Okay, all
Nobody
right.
has a bigger say than anyone.
Well said, well said.
Except Chris.
Of course. Well, Andre, thank you so much for this presentation. I think the fans will love FIFA 19. Looked pretty fun so far. I absolutely adore the survival mode and I can't wait to try it out. Chris, thank you very much. Thank you guys for showcasing the game and I hope you guys have lots of success with the game and also a great time here at Gamescom. Thank you guys for joining in and I hope you guys will be with us for the next Nintendo RedCube show. See you!
Thank you.